Oh, I can do that again, too.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Please allow the energies that we be to coexist and commingle with all other energies, the ones that are on right now and the ones that are going to listen in the future and the ones that are going to get on later in the call. We're going to put that energy. And please allow those energies to be directed by the highest vibrating beings wherever we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please allow the words that we use to be the perfect words in every interaction from this moment forward until we're done. And allow those words to come into perfect vibration, frequency, and tone for all living things to understand. Thank you. I was wondering, sir, if you might do your blessing.
Yeah, I gotta get stop getting wound here first. The Kundalini twisting me around. Yeah. Oh man.
Welcome to the world of simple life.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, Ken, getting ready to do my blessing. Are you ready, Ken?
Yes, sir.
I am the power of I am divine love. The power of I am divine love, joy, peace, harmony, blessing, enlightenment, prosperity, beauty, each and every color, the vibrations, tones, frequencies of the numbers 3, 6, 9, 995, 885, 997, 887. Magnificent gratitude of Sarah flows through me. I am sending to each and every person on this call, and each and every person that listens to the recording, all of them and all of theirs, unlimited, unconditional. I am power of divine love, joy, peace, harmony, respect, enlightenment, prosperity, beauty, each and every healing color, the vibrations, frequencies, and tones of the numbers 995, 885, 995, 997. Magnificence and the gratitude of Sarah, each and everyone here. And with all the healing in every area, let they be sent to them. Well, we're going to talk tonight about the changing energies. So, and it seems Bubba had a lot of ideas on that. You want to share your ideas, Bubba?
Well, I've been struggling like everybody else has over the last 2 or 3 days. And me being the curious sort and the nosy sort, and I just ask, could you please show me what is going on and how we can have some ease with it? And first things first is we have timelines that are coming together. We have many different galactic energies that are fixing to start peaking. And we have solar flares that are fixing to start hitting. And we're getting the magnetic fluxes of those right now. Most of us are about halfway through with the timelines coming together. And most of the timelines that have come together on us are the lower vibrating timelines that we operate in without knowing we're operating in them. Now, is any of this making any sense to anyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Now, from what I've been shown, every time we have a timeline hit, our soul fragments again, and our assemblage point gets off. And you figure we've been hammered with at least 6 different timelines in the last 3 or 4 days. So we're all out of whack, and we don't realize how far out of whack we are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that I keep hearing is we're not giving ourselves permission to balance and integrate these things. We're asking for it, but we're not giving ourselves permission to integrate it. We all know it's coming. We all know it's happening. We all know we're in the greatest change that any of us can even imagine, greater than we can even imagine. So with that said, if everyone will agree, I'm going to facilitate a couple of things that will give you some ease pretty quick. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry about that, sir.
Just waiting.
Yes, please.
Well, I have to have at least one verbal confirmation. That's it. That's all I got to have. Because if I don't get a verbal conversation, I'm just putting this energy out there, and those on the recording will get it, but those listening right now, well, it'll hang around for a little while, and then it won't be there no more.
Okay. Go for it then.
In all of these timelines we have together, I ask that all of the fragmented pieces of our soul be brought back home to the here and now, as the timelines are brought back home to the here and now. Please do so in such a timely manner it does not incapacitate us any worse than we've been incapacitated thus far. And as those soul ties come home, please put our assemblage points in the right and proper place at the right and proper angle for optimum expression of health and energy.
Bring all the fragments back to the assemblage point if there's any off. Oh, yeah. Woo.
Now, those simple little things don't sound like much, but in the world we're living in with the changing energies, it's a great thing. Because when these fluxes hit in the next 6 or 7 days, they're going to be really, really powerful, and they're going to bring more timelines in. And then you add the solar flares to it, and you've got equinox coming up. We got all kinds of magic happening we're not aware of. And it's affecting every one of us by bringing us to and almost through the bottleneck. This is what we've been doing. Everything we've been doing for as many years as we've been doing, this is what we've been doing it for. Now, this is going to be a highly energetic call. I don't have any clue where it's going to go from here. All I can tell you is I've been sitting in this energy since 3:30 this morning. It woke me up. It literally, when I came outside, every star in the sky, I could see it. And then a fog rolled in. What was the fog? I don't have a clue. It was here about, 20, 21 minutes, and then it was gone. And in that fog is where this information just presented itself.
Creation field.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, this is the third time this month that this fog has moved through this valley. For the last 3 nights, including last night, I have been visited by extraterrestrials. Now, that's not uncommon in my world. This happens a lot. But these extraterrestrials wanted me to swear my alliance to them. If they're of the light, they don't need my alliance. They are the same as me. Now, to integrate some of this a little more, I'm going to ask that all of you probably mute your device, because I'm going to ask you to speak out loud a few little words. Now, you may or may not. It's up to you. It don't make me no never mind, but it will give you some ease from where you are right now. I am divine love. I am the light. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I'm here to do. And if you don't think you know what you're here to do, you are a guide, just like I am. You're a guide for those that are getting the same things you're getting, but not knowing how to deal with it. So in this time, you're a guide of the light and love. That's not some juice. Now, we can play in this all day. We can overanalyze it. We can ask all kinds of questions, and I'm game. Let's play.
Thank you, Bubba.
Yeah, these energies have been affecting lots and lots of people.
Oh, yes. And more to come. I lost three very close people yesterday because they could not deal with the energies, and they decided they couldn't be here anymore.
Yep.
Same here.
Oh,
I had one person commit suicide on Monday. Another person died in a car accident yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, one of my buddies was at work, and about 11:30, just before lunch, they said he went to go to the toilet, and that's where he stayed.
Could you speak more to the fog that rolled in? Because I'm down in Florida, and I've noticed that we've had some weird particle stuff in the air on 2 separate occasions. And this morning, I was up at 4 in the morning, which is very odd for me, looking up at the stars as well, and ended up going for a bike ride.
Well, I'm not real sure about the fog. I'm not. This is the third time it's happened, but it's not like any fog I've ever been in. It's more. It feels more electrically charged. That's just the feeling. Now, I've got a bunch of energy devices in play around here, and that could be some of it, but it doesn't feel that way because these energies, my devices, are my normal energy field that I work in. So they don't affect me like this fog does.
I totally concur what you're saying. It was like a slick kind of electrical sliminess to it when I had felt it as well, and it freaked me out. I ended up coming inside and rinsing off in the shower because it was too weird for me. It was not normal, regular, typical Florida, any kind of fog at all.
See, when it gets that way, that's when I go play. That's when I get the most information. That's when I get the most knowings.
So, Bubba, how can we help those aliens? How can we help those aliens, and how are they going to be helping us?
Well, they're here to help us, and after our interaction, and I wouldn't swear my alliance to them. They waited about 15 minutes and talked to me again and said that I'm on the right path, human. That's their words.
Mm-hmm.
What species were they? I don't know. They didn't make themselves shown. They just spoke. But it's not like the normal spirits that I play with. It's a different frequency.
A high one?
Did it feel positive?
Oh, yeah. It's a positive frequency, but it's a different frequency than the energies I normally play with.
Good.
But the clarity, when this fog rolled through this morning, the clarity on the words to say, to assist a lot of people, it just happened. It just fell out.
Well, you can repeat it.
I can repeat it. Basically, we're all healers, every one of us. Even if you don't claim to be a healer, you're a healer because you're the only one that can heal self. So in your words, you ask the same things. Literally. You ask that every time you start to feel this, you can tell when a timeline comes in because, one, you're going to wake up for no damn reason and you can't figure out why that reason is and you're awake. A timeline just come home. You're going to have thoughts that are different from the thoughts that you're used to. A timeline came home.
Yeah, what I find is interesting is when you wake up 3, 4, 5 hours or sooner than you normally do, but you're wide awake. And you just,
Yes.
And you're sitting there wide awake. And what's happening? Why am I wide awake this time of day? Or
a timeline came home. Now, most I'm shown are operating in 8 or 9 timelines simultaneously. They don't realize it, but they're operating in 8 or 9 timelines simultaneously. Some as many as 33.
Yep.
You're talking about regular people.
I'm just talking about the human. This is what was shown to me this morning. The average is running about 8 or 9 lifetimes, but there are beings here that are in 33 different timelines at the same time.
We were given the code for 33 last week.
Huh. Ain't that a fun thing?
So you were given the code. So Paige, you were given the codes for 33 timelines last week?
Apparently. We on this call last week.
Okay.
The formula was
Now,
33.
Most of the indigenous shaman, they're above that. They're helping direct this energy and keep their people in a place of comfort and understanding. That's all we can do. We can ask if they're willing to receive, if they're willing to use their words and give themselves permission to receive, you can assist them in this energetic time. Most are not willing to receive, whatever it is.
I think most are afraid to receive. And we have to take the fear away from them.
Yeah, like
Well, you're not going to take the fear away from them. You've got to figure out a way to get them in your energy field and commingling in your energy so they can feel better. They've got to feel better in order to receive.
Yeah.
And simply, in my world, that's calling someone like Don and breathing and getting in this energy and asking Sarah to come into my heart and allow whoever I'm speaking with to feel Sarah's heart and my heart simultaneously.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, you finally put their heart in a place of peace because they're not used to that.
Who is Sarah? I'm not familiar.
Sarah is a being that was a caretaker on this earth plane for 26 years. And she went through me on her departure from this plane.
When you guys call her in, I have an overwhelmingly sense of like grounding and calming sensation. It's very pleasant. I appreciate her presence.
She gave me her gratitude on her way out and her love of life. She not only gave it to me, she made sure Don called and got some too.
That was amazing. I'm getting chills when you said that. Got goosebumps in my legs and arms and my hair is standing up.
Now, I've been walking in this since I was so woken up this morning, just bolt upright, just ready to go. And something had to change because there's no way I could keep doing what I've been doing. Something had to change. And then I got the understanding. I asked for it yesterday. I got it today.
Yeah. Sometimes when we ask for understanding, it comes a day or two later or a week sometimes.
Well, I found within 72 hours, 72 hours is the longest I've had to wait for any information I've asked for.
You get your whole team working on it.
I just speak the words to the universe. It's whether my team's working on it or some of them low-life gnomes out here is working on it. Don't make me know, never mind. Somebody's bringing me the information and I know it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry, no, not low-lifes.
Yeah, like the old saying, ask and you shall receive.
There's not a more powerful statement anywhere. But first, you got to give yourself permission to receive.
Yes.
And it's going to be uncomfortable looking at yourself, giving yourself permission to receive. I guarantee it. I don't care how far you are evolved. It is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Get over it. Get over it.
Yeah.
It will be the greatest gift you ever give yourself. Because you're the only one that can change it. I can give you my permission all day long. And that energy will be there for now and forevermore. But until you choose to receive your own gift, you will struggle.
Hey, I made a time.
Yes.
I got it.
have any more questions?
I have one, Bubba.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Shelley. I have a friend, a coworker, and she's been noticing what she thinks is timeline manipulation. She's been taking notes that she noticed, like with the movie Forrest Gump, the line was, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get to life was a box of chocolates." She saw in the Bible, Isaiah 10:6, the lion will lie down with the lamb was changed to the wolf will lie down with the lamb.
Yeah.
She was noticing a lot of changes with the manipulation of the timeline, and I had heard that that's what the Halogen Collider CERN was about.
Well,
Go ahead.
from my understanding, the CERN collider was to implode all the dimensions on themselves, to make every dimension at one time, before it was time.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it wouldn't have been pretty.
Okay. So
there really is no good and bad. You have light and dark, or light and absence of light.
okay.
This is the way it's presented to me. It's either light or absence of it.
Okay. So that was absence of the light then.
Yes.
Okay. And so from what I understand is they're trying to create one timeline that would be beneficial to the absence of light group.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, that won't never happen. There are, at least I know of, 52 different species from other galactic centers that will make sure that does not happen.
Well, that is good news, and I appreciate hearing that, because I didn't really know what to do about it. I was going to start asking for help, to prevent.
Well, here's my thing on the CERN colliders, all the nuclear weapons, they're all controlled by computers. And knowing what I know about spiders, and spiders working for free, and they like really warm places, but the biggest thing about it is their webs conduct electricity. So I give all the computer banks to all the nuclear weapons around the world, the CERN colliders or anything like that, even the HARP machine. The spiders now have a new home in all those computer banks. And the spiders like a good home. It's coming up on winter in North America, and a good warm spot for them to be. Well, I give them that with all the love that I can possess.
Okay, so I will start talking to my spider friends. I mean, my favorite story was Charlotte's Web, so, I really like spiders.
Think about these words. The meek shall inherit the earth. Now, we're not going to stand up and get in a gun battle with stupid people. I'm not. But in these energies that I play in daily and have been for many, many years, and the people that I know that like to play in these energies also, well, I'll call a couple of them up and we'll do a three-way call and we'll play. I don't take none of it serious, because the minute you take it serious, I step right out of the energy field. Okay. And I'm telling you, play with childlike wonderment, and your connection will grow greater than you can understand.
That's interesting, because I was always told to get in touch with my own inner magical child.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's good advice.
When I first started throwing energy balls, my team says, what would you do if you were a 13-year-old man? Well, at 13, what do all men think about?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Fishing, of course.
Who's that, Ken?
How you doing, young lady?
Good. How are you?
Good. Excellent.
Are you back from the Mississippi?
Nope. They said we get to stay an extra day for free.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So did
Yes,
you?
it's nice here.
Did you and your grandson get connected with any trees at the effigy mounds?
My grandson did. Thank you for guiding him and explaining to him how to do it. Yep, we both had a good time. Cool place to go.
Oh, yeah.
Sure is.
Amazing energy there.
Yeah, except I forgot to take Organite along with me.
Oh,
Well,
it doesn't need Organite. It's got enough of its own power. It's its own organ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Yep.
Can you share
Bubba,
what your grandson? Can you share what your grandson experienced?
Hold on, I'll put him on the phone. Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
Okay.
You want to know what happened in the woods today? It's a conference call. Oh.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey.
Hi. Awesome. Okay. So Don, yes. I talked to Don and he talked to me about connecting with the trees energetically. And Bubba first taught me about, hugging the trees and communicating with the trees and learning from the trees. But Don was able just to give me a little bit more info on it and his experiences. So I took some of his advice and, like, for example, right now I'm trying to be a healer. So I hugged a tree. One of the trees I saw, first I, connected generally when I was walking with my heart centered to the trees, kind of get in the groove of the interplay of energies. Then I hugged one tree and I had to do some energy work on me to kind of open me up and get me on the path to becoming a healer. And I specifically asked for, allow me to heal not just people, but anything. So plants, animals, the world, planets, anything really. So that was really really awakening for the energy exchange. Like I could see it taking out all my energy, and then I saw it putting its energy inside me, and then kind of made a cocoon around me, if you will. And then kind of like, okay, now you're just what is the word? Just jading, or you're incubating, I guess, within the energy. So that was pretty cool. So after I thanked the tree for what it taught me and what it did to me. Grandpa was already way down the path, and I was like, I wonder where he is. So I was walking for a little bit. I'm like, I still can't find him. So I don't know what told me, but I felt so one with the whole entire forest. Like I felt like my eyes and my ears were a part of the forest. It was really strange. So I just stuck my hand out to the tree, and I closed my eyes. I'm like, show me where Grandpa is. And it was like kind of like a sonar that went through the whole entire forest, and then a little image of him sitting with his cane. I'm like, oh, that's where he is. Okay, so I'll keep an eye out. And then maybe 300 feet away or whatever, I saw Grandpa just like I saw him sitting with his cane and near the bench. I'm like, oh, hey, I just saw you. So.
Oh, you're a happy camper.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty awesome. So you can develop. Who's ever listening? I don't know. You guys can develop your communication with the trees, and they can teach you many skills: healing, telepathy, learning to merge your consciousness with other beings. So like the forest. So you could use the interconnectedness of the trees to see whatever's in the forest. So some pretty cool stuff like that. I'm not looking forward to going back to city life.
Bless your heart. And can I ask how old you are, being a grandson?
I'm 22.
Oh, wonderful that you're on your way to an interest that is really awakened. You're alive with that energy. I like it.
Oh, every day I try. It's such a burning desire. Like if I don't satisfy myself by meditating, I feel like I've, it's like breathing. You have to breathe, and it's so intoxicating being able to like awaken parts of your consciousness, and it's such a pure intoxication too that you just want more and more and more of it. And because you can do more and more good. My exactly what I asked the tree was to help me become a transcended healer. So. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So I'll let Grandpa get back on the phone. But thanks for listening to me and thanks for your input, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks, Gabe.
You're welcome, Bubba. Or who's that, Bubba?
Yeah. Yes, we can really get connected with the trees, and if you put your heart space and your third eye at the same time against the tree and send the love, sometimes you end up going inside the tree. And what happens for me is I can be going up, walking on a path up a steep hill, and I can connect with the trees ahead of me, and they'll pull me up. And then when I pass them, I can ask them to push me. So I'll have maybe 20, 30 trees behind me pushing and 20, 30 above pulling me. And I don't have to use any muscles to go up the hill. I just need to use my muscles to move my legs.
So you should have told me that this morning. I wouldn't have had to work so hard.
I told your grandson, he just...
He didn't tell me. That was a long climb.
Yes, it is. Yep. You bet.
Thanks for the opening on the climb, because I'm going to be going there.
Mm-hmm.
Where you going, Audrey?
I want to go over to the Effigy Mounds.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, Pikes Peak or whatever it was, that name.
Yep.
effigy.
They've got them here in Madison, and I love them. So
Yeah. What I think, and I say think because I don't know and I haven't doused them, I think those mounds are real similar to organite, or maybe more advanced than organite, because you can feel.
Oh, you're right.
You can
You're
feel
right,
that
because they use different layers of materials. So it's a natural form of organite. So it might be a layer of dirt, a layer of gravel, a layer of leaves. So you're right. It's a natural organite.
Yep. And different types of dirt and clays and sand. Yeah. I read an article about some guys that did that in a city park. They dug a hole down and they doused what to put in, and they might put sand in and might put leaves and then put dirt.
Yeah.
Tree limbs and then put something else and filled it all
Exactly
up.
right. Yep.
Sodded over, and they watched that, and people would gravitate to that and hang around it. Yeah. They could feel the energy, whether they knew it, whether they knew they could feel the energy or not. They felt the energy.
What was that?
Bubba, have you been playing with your gifts?
She brought them in, and they're so powerful. But no, I've been playing in the dirt.
Oh,
It's time
okay.
to put winter crops in the ground, so I've been putting winter crops in the ground.
Oh, cool. Let me know how they go, and I'm going to making a present for our friend Megan next week.
Well, that's a good one.
Yep.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice young lady. Yep. Very gifted.
you said that, Ken. I love my pucks and I love my pyramid. And I feel
Good girl.
so much more comfortable. I mean, I got all tingly and different things when I first got into its presence, and I haven't been out of its presence since. But I'm so glad I had 2 spots on my smart meter. And I never liked standing in the kitchen, which was right above it. And it was very, very different. I feel very nice. Very good.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does wonders for those smart meters. You're right. You're welcome.
So what do you do
tell
for
me
the
what-
smart meter?
you had me put it in the toilet tanks. Tell me your take on what's happening with it there, if you don't mind.
I learned that years ago. Every time you flush the toilet tank, it runs through the city to the treatment plant. So the whole city gets the organite energy.
Okay.
Just the other day, Gabe and I gifted a power transfer station. You know, where you see the transformers out in the country, and it boosts up the power or whatever it does. We gifted a bunch of organite there, and the reason we did gifted that was because all the power lines in North America are interconnected. So that means you are getting organite through your power lines to your home or business or wherever.
Well, that means these power lines out here, that we got all this organite on these mountains around here carrying some serious stuff.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And I'm bouncing it off a reflector that the electric company uses.
Excellent.
So have you put Ken,
Well, I want more.
have you put your organite around the smart meter?
Right on top of it.
On top of the smart meter.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Right. I had 2 of them. One part looked like a smoke detector down below where the water actually turned on and off, and then followed the pipe up to the ceiling. And then they had one up there too. So a smaller thing. But I said, no, I'm going to take 2 of my organite pucks, and I'm going to have a piece on each of those mechanisms.
Sure. When I worked at UW Milwaukee, I worked in a power plant, so we've provided steam and hot water and electricity for the campus. So every line that went out in the campus had had organite pucks on them. So the whole campus got the organite energy.
I got a friend that works down.
Does anybody feel that? Do you feel Milwaukee's a calmer campus, or?
I'm sure
I'm
it
glad
is,
you-
right, the campus, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm glad you did that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, and I was just told to tell you, Ken, that tell your grandson that whenever he wants, he can tune in on whatever he got from those trees, and he can even get more anytime he wants.
Oh, okay.
For an example, if I'm tired and I'm walking out on the farm here, and I'm going pretty slow and I don't have any energy, I just call on those trees at the effigy mounds. They give me energy, and I walk about 2 to 3 times faster. And I walk with ease without
Wow, okay.
working. Yeah.
Sure.
So what are you thinking, June? I feel you thinking.
Is that who it is?
Yes. How did you, what directions did you give, is his name Troy?
Ooh.
Ken's grandson?
Oh,
To connect with the tree?
Gabriel. His grandson
That's
is Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Oh, okay, Gabe. What directions did you give him to how to connect with the tree? I
Okay.
hugged the tree, and I think I got heart energy, but
Yeah.
I've never had that interconnection that you are talking about.
Well, what the trees taught me when I was over in the Czech Republic, I can't say that I came up with it myself, because I went out to connect with the trees and they sucked me right up to them. They sucked my third eye right up to them. And I found since then, if I put my third eye in my heart space, you know, everything from your waist on up in your third eye on the tree, and first you got to ask the tree what side it wants you to do it on. And this is what I've noticed, that if a tree over here on the right is connected real strong with the tree over to the left, they'll have you right in between those two trees. So what I'll do is I'll get my third eye on there and my heart space on the tree and hold it until the tree pushes me away. And then it'll turn me around and put my back against it, and I'll connect with the other tree that it's kin or friend or whatever. And then the energy will start flowing between me and the other trees, that one other tree.
So you do your front side first and then your back side.
Right. And I let the tree tell me when. And sometimes when you got my front side in with my third eye and my heart space, I'll go inside the tree. And sometimes not. And then when they turn me around and I put my backside against the tree, they'll show me another tree to focus on, which is always straight ahead. And when I breathe out, the energy will come out of the tree behind me, through me, and into the tree in front that I'm focusing on. And when I breathe in, the energy from that tree will come in through me and into the tree I'm leaning against. Just go back and forth. Yes, and Paige was there one time when I did it. Can you explain what you saw, Paige?
Yes, you were in between two trees, and I could see the energy. It was going from the tree to Don's back, coming around him, going to the tree that was in front of him, looping around that, and then coming back around and going back around to the back. And
Like figure eight?
Yes. Yep. It was doing a figure eight. And Don was in this, not, I can't say center because it was up against the one tree, but he was receiving all this energy as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess you just asked to receive.
Well, I don't even ask to receive. I just go up there in a neutral state and they start doing it.
And you get it.
It might be better to ask. I don't know.
And, well, the tree asks you, correct, Don?
What's
Typically?
this?
The tree typically asks you, or in some way says, please come to me.
Yeah, they invite me. They actually, they just pull me to them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then,
and one time I took a group of people to a woods, and there was about 6 or 7 of us. And when we came out, the one lady who could see real good said that there was energy about a foot or more around me, all white energy, and about 8 feet above me, all white energy. So those trees will really energize you.
Well, there was an experience that day too, Don, that Don connected to a tree, and the tree's energy and Don's energy and that connection made a third energy.
Oh.
It created, the merging of the two created a third. And it was extraordinary. It was beautiful.
Unity.
Okay, then somebody asked on chat, how do you decalcify your third eye? What are ways to do it? Does anybody have any ideas on that?
I get my team to shatter the shield.
There you go.
So that you can see more?
That you can see all.
Okay. What happened just yesterday, I guess, no, the day before yesterday, I have a friend whose mother had a stroke on her right side, and she was seeing into 3 or 4 different dimensions, and it was really scaring her a lot. So I went in and actually closed her third eye. Hello?
Yep. We're listening.
Because it was really scaring her. And she's like 80. So
how did you close her third eye, June?
With my finger and intention.
Okay.
When in sacred space, when you open sacred space up.
And you close. Now, can you open somebody's third eye? Like, say, could you open my third eye up more?
I never tried that.
Oh, you have to.
I imagine, well, it takes a few minutes to open up sacred space.
Yeah, we could do that sometime on a call. Sometime, that would be kind of fun.
I think so.
Have you ever seen anybody's third eye pop out on their forehead?
No, but you told me you did.
Yep, and I just talked to my friend Stephen this morning, or sometime today, and he sent me a picture on email. I'm going to see if I can get it and put it on our dowsing list. But it's kind of a picture. It shows a little bit, but it already shrunk down some before the picture was taken. But the third eye popped right out. That was in a Kundalini class, and that was just amazing.
Your third eye is fairly well open, but it's open to sense, feeling, judgments, are really like the sense that you go into different dimensional spaces. It's like a sense without actually, a lot of times you see figures and things, but not all the time. That's what I'm getting.
That's about right. And I go into other dimensions too. Because there's time I'll be in other dimensions and doing things, and people will say, "We saw you walking down the road, Don, and we hollered at you and you never answered. You were talking to somebody." And I said, "Well, that's just normal for me. I go in other dimensions. And I'm just in a different dimension than they were, Well, that's kind of interesting." Oh, man, somebody's thinking about something pretty heavy because I'm getting really twisted.
I thought it was just me.
I don't know. Some energy's flopping here, that's for sure.
It feels like June has her pendulum again.
No, I don't.
I just picked up mine.
I'm just eating ice cream, so it can't be me.
I left and went somewhere, so.
Oh.
Getting a language.
You're going to have a language page?
Getting a language.
Oh. Are you supposed to share it or just get it?
It's kind of a continuation of the speech and the language from the other night.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh. Somebody's on chat here. Yeah. Oh.
And I can stream it if you'd like me to, but I don't have to.
Yes, I really would like you to. I think that that is the most beautiful thing that I've ever heard.
Okay. Makwalana pai ta hoholana te kalana mana kai to hotai kanana latai poholana nai mahalane mokwai makwalana te poholana mana kai o lana te ko koholana tai ho malana me nakai to palana tai ko holana te tanana tatai nana tai to kodana te kai to hwa.
Now, do you know what it just did?
Get your attention.
It put a purifying frequency in the lower chambers of your heart.
Oh.
Yes, it is heart.
You said that, Bubba. I got the Kundalini stretches. Oh.
Say that one more
Well,
time,
I'm feeling it too.
Bubba, somebody needs you to say that again, only louder.
It put a purifying frequency in the lower chambers of your heart.
Oh.
I've had 2 episodes of heart irregularity, kind of pumping all over my chest, pumping, and I'm kind of thinking that that's these energies, moving through me or clearing me out, which I need. I know.
Are you willing to receive that?
Yes.
Give yourself permission to receive that.
I give myself.
I give you my permission. Everybody else on this call gives you their permission. We hope you receive that.
Thank you.
We overcomplicate it. It's that simple. Ask. We're taught not to ask. We're taught to do it ourselves. That feels good, don't it, Don?
Yeah.
That energy is whatever it is has already reached my feet and coming back up. Thank you. I don't know who brought that language in, but thank you.
That was Paige. Paige brought it in.
It's like an old language that you've heard before and you heard it and you could almost understand it, and it brings like a vibration into your body, and if you close your eyes, you're not even
here
in the room. It's so hard
I'm
to
in the Hall of Records.
Yes.
When that language started speaking, I almost automatically just left and went to the Hall of Records. But it lit up the lower chambers of my heart.
It will take you where you give it permission to take you.
You have to speak louder, Paige. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm somewhere else still. It will take you where you give it permission to take you.
Yeah, I know.
And beyond.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're playing in the 13 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing more in the 1 in the information field.
I'm getting that we need the dowels and take hooks off everyone in the call that wants the non-beneficial hooks. And then also take off the hooks or the shield that has been put on us to stop us from giving information or permission to get something.
Well, how about do we do this? Instead of stopping ourselves from doing that, we'll forgive ourselves for not knowing we could do that.
Yes, forgive ourselves first, yeah. Oh, yeah, so each and every one of us forgive ourselves for not knowing we could give ourselves permission. Oh, yeah.
Mahalané. Oof.
Okay. Third spiritual dowsing team. It's now a good time to take the hooks off of everyone that wants to take it off. If you want your hooks taken off, not beneficial hooks.
Yep.
Okay, they'll come off, and if you want to keep them, that's fine. Okay, our third spiritual dowsing team. You take off all non-beneficial hooks, so there'd be psychic hooks, energy hooks, or any other type of hooks, known or unknown to us. Take them off each and every person on this call, and each and every person that'll listen to this call later on the recording. Take those hooks off. Thank you. Thank you for getting those hooks off in every spot, dimension, the aura field, the etheric field, in every place they need them taken off, take them off. Send them 100 miles away, and then either send them to the light or to the earth or back to where they came from, which is ever the best. Now, fill in all the voids of the hooks and the cords that are attached with some bright white light from the 9 star systems I work with from the Palladians field. Just fill up everybody's void. Yeah, thank you. Cover that one with golden light, and cover that with silver light, and cover that with indigo light. Just cover them all up and transmute all the vibrations, frequencies, and tones so that none of these hooks with our cords can never find you again. Anybody that's listening to this. Thank you, team. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
When I
Thank
quit
you,
twitching,
Don.
I'll talk.
I smell frankincense.
Thank you,
You
Don.
smell frankincense, huh?
Mm,
Yes, you're very welcome, everyone.
thank you.
And you should also thank my team, my etheric spiritual dowsing team, because they're really powerful.
Hey, Don, where can we watch the playback at?
Okay, who is this talking?
Diane,
Okay, are you on the?
switch to active.
Are
There
you
we
on
go.
the dowsing to create a new Earth group?
Let me see. I think this is the one. Dowsing to create a new Earth. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. If you're on that group, I'll be sending it to you in a day or two. To the
Oh,
group.
you'll just send us like a link or something?
Yeah, and then there's a lady on the group whose name I can't pronounce. I keep forgetting how it's spelled, but then there's a YouTube channel she puts it on. So then you can look at this and a whole bunch of other ones too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm in the group. I'm not seeing. It might be this one.
Well, see, it won't be on there now. It has to get recorded. It has to download into my computer.
Oh, I was just seeing if there was another. There's another one here. Does her name start with a V?
I don't know, but all you have to do is go to YouTube and type in Don Prohaska, and they'll come up. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yes. And there'll be a bunch of other ones there, and we talk about different things, and some of them got the same titles. Papers, I shouldn't do that.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they'll title this one "New Energy Field" or something. And the lady from the group puts them in the YouTube channel, so you can check. I think just 4, 5, 6 in there.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yes. Oh, and tomorrow night at the same time, 8 o'clock Central, and whatever time it is where you guys are, I'm doing a beginning dowsing class. Give people ideas. And it might give some people douse for a while some ideas too. I don't know.
Don, will you
Where
record
were
that?
you
'Cause I'm not
at?
at the house.
Yeah, tomorrow night I can if somebody wants me to.
Please do.
Okay. And then you can watch it on YouTube if you want. Yeah.
Very grateful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. What were you going to say, Bubba? You were going to say something.
I said, well, I'll get back on here when I quit twisting around.
Oh, you're getting twisted tonight, too. Yeah. Yeah, I've been twisted a
How
few
about we?
times.
How about we play a little bit? Everybody want to play with a little light?
Let's play with light. I love to play with light.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to ask everybody to breathe. Just breathe in real deep and slow 3 times. Now, just feel your heart. Just feel it. You know it's where it's at. You feel it. Just put your mind's eye on your heart. Now, in the center of that heart, all this electricity is turning around and moving around. I want you to grab a handful of it and just kind of manipulate it into a ball. Now, I want you to bring that ball up in through your throat and out the top of your head. Breathe. Now, I want you to take that ball and get it about 18 inches above your head and make it bigger to where it's about the size of your shoulders or a little bigger. Now, spin that ball in a clockwise motion. Now, open up a hole in the center of that ball and make it a ring, a donut, if you will, to where there's a hole in the middle of that donut that you can encapsulate yourself with. Now, bring that ball and that ring of light down around your head. Breathe. Now, bring it down around your shoulders. And breathe. Down just to below your heart. And breathe. Right down around your hip. And just hold it there for a minute. Now, take it right down around your knees. Now, let it go down and rub on the earth while it's circling around your feet. Breathe. Now, bring it back up to about your hips. Feel it surge up your spine. Now, bring it back up just above your heart. Breathe. Now, bring it right up above your head, about 18 inches or so, just about where your fingertips would be. Now, take that ball and that ring and spin it one more time to the right. Get it spinning pretty good. Now, send it to the earth. That, my friends, is balancing your energy from your heart.
Thank you, Bubba.
Now, the more you play with that, the bigger you make that donut. Wherever you go, you can balance the energy there to make it a more enjoyable experience for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bubba.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It doesn't take very long after you've played with it a little bit. That feel a little better?
No.
Now, sometimes if you just don't feel like pulling that light out of your heart, well, just ask the trees around you to put you in their energy's vortex and breathe. And you'll find some semblance of balance there. Okay, what is that? Oh no, we got visits again. Anybody have questions?
Yeah.
Ideas?
How long does it
Something
take?
we can play with?
Oh.
Well, I have a question. Actually, for me, from the waist down, it was very strong, but above waist, it was fairly weak. I wonder what that means.
That means that you need to practice more and quit doubting yourself.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
I remember
Because if it... Go ahead.
I remember one time on there was 3 or 4 of us on a call, and we said, well, we should bring in Don's shamanic abilities from past lives. And I got to send the energy out the top of my head. And I was showing that to Paige one day, and she says, oh my goodness, your crown just opens right up, she said.
Yeah.
So, there's times like I can send different colors. There's a lot of different healing colors, and I can send healing colors to someone, send it up on the top of my head and down into the top of their head.
Yeah.
The people who are in the energy stuff, they can really feel that. So there's lots of different ways of setting our energies.
Well, if you just think of someone and you put their name in your head and you direct your love from your heart, they know instantly. They may not recognize it instantly, but they know instantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the more you practice at sending this energy out of your heart, the bigger your conduit becomes. The more you send and the more you receive. Because you're a conduit of it. You're a piece of it. You're a conduit of it. I'm very empathic. I feel everything. But I'm just a conduit of everything that I feel. If it feels not beneficial for me, I release it into the earth. It's meant for her. She plays with energies I can't deal with. But if it's beneficial for me, it can hang around and let me experience it.
And it's so great to know that we have a choice whether to keep it or let it go.
Yes.
Yep. And that reminds me, I was at a lady's place, and she was telling me about something, some subject. She was about crying, and there was some feeling she's had, and I said, is it yours? And she looked at me with a shock. I said, well, you can douse, see whether it's yours or not. She got a no. I said, well, if it's not yours, send it back to where it came from. She sent it back to where it came from, and she was just like a new person. She said, my goodness, you can imagine the difference. Oh.
You're a great big biological radio antenna that simultaneously sends and receives. The electricity in you, your heart pump that pumps your electricity, that is literally what's moving everything else in you. It's making the blood move, it's making the water move, but it's making the electricity move more.
And the universe, all the star systems, the moons and the suns, the earth, all the inhabitants on earth, that includes you, your vegetation, and your trees, and your humans, and the animals, and everything. All the plants, they all run on DC current. And when we can get the DC current flowing again, and it gets stuck in people, and when we concentrate on getting that DC current going, that's why the more we practice on moving this energy up and down us and around us in various ways, it gets that DC current flowing. When we get our DC currents flowing in the correct manner, our health increases. Anybody got anything to add to that?
Plus the language you use.
There you
Always
go.
ask for the proper words, even with self.
Agreed. What's that saying you have, Bubba? That you can douse for? Let the what? Words?
Please allow me in every interaction have the perfect words, and allow those words to be in the perfect vibration, frequency, and tone for all living things to understand. Thank you.
Oh, that would be a great statement to make every time before you douse.
I just do it once a day. And I never worry about it again.
Yeah.
Because it somehow, magically, the proper words are always there.
Mm.
Ain't that smart?
Ask and you shall receive.
Yes. We don't ask. And from what I can understand about watching the voices of you speaking your anchor vibration to yourself, it changes literally everything about you.
Anchor vibration?
Explain anchor vibration, will you? In your opinion?
You come into this world with one thing. You come into this world with one thing. Your voice. That is your anchor. You leave this world, the only thing you got left is your voice. It's your anchor vibration. Speaking to yourself changes everything about you. And the manner you speak to yourself, be it derogatory, will your cells take on that energy. So I ask for the perfect words, even with self. Because we all know I'm the butt of my best jokes. I ask for crazy things and get to experience it. All I ask every day is to be and have functional use of all my gifts from every timeline, from everywhere I play and ever have played. I want a functioning use of my gifts. That's what I desire. And incrementally, those come forth.
And the wonderful thing about that, all of us can ask and desire the same thing if we want.
Yes. I mean, when I first started this, all I ever asked was, I want to be connected to the same information field as Tesla and Einstein, but from my perspective. Bring it to me in a manner I can understand.
Yes.
And that changed everything. Everything. The whole way, though, I looked myself in the eyes in the mirror and gave myself permission to receive it. The gift of seeing with my eyes closed. The gift of moving energies with my hands. Directing energies with my heart, with my voice. It's all a gift. It's all a learned thing, but it's not a learned thing. It's a remembered thing. You have to figure out how to get to your heart and open it up. We can't tell you how to do that, but we can share with you how we have done it. And some of it may work. Your beliefs are the biggest thing holding you back because you believe you can't. I'm here to tell you, you can.
Mm-hmm.
A wise teacher told me one time about dowsing and healing. And he says, if you think you need the tool, then you need the tool. If you think you don't, that also is true. And I take great weight in what he says. I don't think I can. I know I can. And all I do is ask on the energies I play with all the time to assist me. I just ask. Because no matter where you are right now, wherever you're sitting, I can ask the trees to connect with those trees and bring their energy into your heart. And show them what the leaves feel like when they rustle against your skin. Thank you. All I do is ask. And the more I ask, and the more I know that it goes on, the stronger the connection gets. It's like anything. The more you play with it, the stronger it gets. The more you play.
Bubba, would it be a fair statement to say at this point it is more, it just is your way of being?
Probably.
Okay.
I get so wrapped up in questions sometimes I have to call Don and wake him up at 4 o'clock in the morning and ask him questions. Mm-hmm. And sometimes he doesn't appreciate that because it gives him a great stretching motion that he seems to moan and groan about, but I know he really enjoys it.
Getting up at 4 a.m. So
I'm generally up by 3:33 every morning.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll set my timer so I know when the call's on then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He may sleep good tonight though because he got a couple of doses of energy balancing today, so he'll probably sleep good tonight. And until I stepped into this fog, I haven't slept worth a crap.
Yeah.
You know, when you speak of that fog, it almost reminds me of the mists of Avalon that come in. And
I can't put a name to it. I just know it's different.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It just it reminds me of that same thing. That's what happens there. You know,
well, according down to one of the boys I talked to yesterday, they said that they could pull sounds out of this crystal that's being recorded by the Rodin coil. That crystal that's inside the Rodin coil is recording these energies we're getting bombarded with.
Beautiful.
So that Rodin coil's magnifying them somewhat into the crystal?
Yes.
What is the Rodin coil?
A Rodin coil is a device that I absolutely know not too much about at all, except that it's made out of copper and it's got to be made, and it takes a long time because it's handmade with a lot of intention. And I know that the best in the country, when I called him and told him I had to have this, he had it in my hands in 4 days.
Yeah.
And what does it do?
What it's doing out here, it's got 2 legs of it tied to the earth, two grounding wires into the earth that are 9 feet apart. And in the center of it, not touching the Rodin coil, is a double terminated 1-inch clear crystal quartz that's recording the energies that's being made and broadcasted here from the Rodin coil.
Are you by chance in Arizona?
No, ma'am. I do sometimes, and sometimes I'm in Nevada, and sometimes I'm in New Mexico, and sometimes I'm in California, and sometimes I'm in Texas. I'm all over the place.
Oh,
I'm waiting for you to come to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I told y'all, I keep telling y'all, I'm not thinking anything north of the Texas-Oklahoma border is where I want to be.
Well, a good time to come is January.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Sometimes
afraid in January I'm going to be basking in the sunlight in my 85-degree hot house.
uh-huh.
But you don't want to come and enjoy our winter wonderland?
Yeah, we could go camping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this winter wonderland that I'm creating down here is going to be a lush tropical forest.
Good for you.
Fishing, ice fishing.
No, I don't eat the fish because most all of them are tainted.
Yep. Anyway, back to the rodent coil. It's really a mathematical coil with the number 9. The way they twist the wire and the length of the wire and the number of twists and everything is number 9. And yeah, they're a magical coil. They've taken those coils and with some other things and have them in a box, and they've cleared up lakes in Canada. And then the guy in Canada told a friend in Poland, it's cleared up lakes and it's brought lakes back to life and back to like they were supposed to, like they were years ago. Oh yeah, and it's a wonderful coil. Yeah.
Well, I put mine. I had mine hooked up to 2 paddles from a TENS unit. Does everybody know what a TENS unit is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had 2 of them sticky paddles for a TENS unit, and I hooked the rodent coil to it and hung it up in here, and my team said that I could move magnets. Well, I just stepped back and breathed, and then I put one of those deals below my heart and the other one above my heart, and the magnets instantly upon contact blew 4 feet in the air. Through a rodent coil, all it was my heart. Now, I don't know what it does, except I know that it amplifies. And whatever it's putting into that crystal will be amplified.
And you can also do like Emoto did with putting words on a glass and putting water in there. That goes into the water. You can write a statement or words, put it underneath a rodent coil and have the rodent coil sitting on a flat surface with your words in there, like you want to bless your home and everybody within a mile or 2 from you, and that'll spread that out and do that too. And you can also
Flower of Life will.
Yeah, Flower
of Life will do that ISO.
Yep. And then you can also take a CD. Like if you got a wonderful CD with wonderful messages, you can set that rodent coil on top of the shiny side of the CD, because that's a crystal anyway. The CDs are made of crystals, and that'll go up to the rodent coil and spread out and just keep spreading out and blessing. And there's people have done that with rodent coils and then scalar energy tools. And they lived in a city, and within a certain range, I don't know, blocks, 2 blocks, a mile, or whatever, the people of low frequency and the bad people and the nasty ones, they just move out. They either change to be nice or they move away.
Yes,
Don,
they do.
Coil. What is a rodent coil? Is that the tensor coil that Brian Besco makes?
Nope. Brian doesn't make anything like the rodent coil. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to look. I didn't know anything about them, and it was put upon me to get one. And I asked the best that builds them, his name to come to me, and it came to me. Name and phone number, and I called him the day I got it, and he felt the energy of what I was doing, and he stopped what he was doing and made one and sent it to me, specifically for the task that I'm doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. So we're all good.
Yeah. In fact, I'm the one that talked him into doing that, because I had a vision of this round coil doing something magical. And then I went to a dowsing meeting, and this young guy was there. Corey's his name. Corey Coil, they call it now. And I told him about that, and he says, I never heard of anything like that. So he did some search on the internet and found the rodent coil. learned how to make them. We started making them, and they're just fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a special guy.
Yeah.
How do you spell
What
the
do you
first
think?
word?
Rodin.
Rodent coil. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I thought it was rodent, RODENT. Rodent.
No.
Yeah, and the
Rodin.
The rodent coil, I've watched hours of videos on it. It's just amazing. And you can make them yourself if you want to. But you gotta be one of these people who's real precise and can sit down and for hours do real technical work, fine work, and make sure that every twist is perfect.
Yep.
Tedious, I call it, but some people that love to do it, they call it just wonderful because it makes them feel good, and you got to have the right intentions while you're doing it. Yeah. Yeah, if you go on YouTube, you can type in rodent coil, and oh man, you can watch days of videos on the rodent coil.
Or you can just ask for the ones that are most pertinent for the way you're looking.
Yep. It was really interesting. Oh.
You felt that too.
Yeah, I felt something. Yeah.
Feels like a question.
Yeah, who's got a question? I'm not getting directed at anybody. Oh.
I've got a question, but I can't seem to formulate it. I was just testing you two.
I guess it worked.
Yeah, so what's your question about?
I don't know.
You were testing yourself.
I was putting
to
it
see
out
if you
there.
could influence. Yes.
I was putting it out
You
there to see
influence
about,
the energy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question, but I'm just at a loss for words at this point.
So what subject is your question on?
Phew. I guess earlier, Bubba, you had mentioned something about the appendages for the hooks, I think it was.
Assemblage point.
Okay, could you just rephrase that portion of it?
What do you mean?
I just want to repeat that to myself again, and I can't recollect what it was.
Please put my assemblage point in its right and proper place at its right and proper angle for optimum expression of health and energy.
Thank you.
Now, something about the assemblage point most don't understand. Any trauma, you stub your toe, you slice your finger, you mash your finger, you put your assemblage point off. If you get really sad, you put your assemblage point off. It's that easy to knock it off.
Yeah, if you get sick
so when these timelines come in, it's a drastic change to your physical body. Drastic change. And it affects you in different ways. All of us. But, we all have a common thing. So if you can write your assemblage point and you can bring all your fragmented pieces in that are associated with that timeline, it will bring greater ease to whatever we're going to experience in the next little while.
Okay, that was a key point for me, because over the last week or so, the calling all fragmented pieces of my soul back to their core unit has been extremely strong, but I was definitely missing the second portion of it in terms of the assemblage point. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I just say home. If you say home, it's going to come to the here and now in the physical.
Okay.
This is your home. Your temple, so to speak. You can literally speak yourself to good health, because the things you say And the things you ingest are your health. Energize your water to be the optimum water for health. Your health is your wealth. Hey, you're going to play. You want to play, right? Find you a indigo Sharpie and write the numbers 369 on your pulse on your left arm. And then you can let us know what it does for you, because it seems to do something a little different for everybody.
And that was 369 in purple?
No.
Indigo.
Indigo.
Oh, okay.
Write it in indigo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will that heal my arm?
I don't know.
It'll
I know what it does. I know what it does to the blood. When you write it over that pulse point, I know what it does to the blood. I can see that. Will it heal your arm? If you think it will heal your arm and you thank your arm for healing itself and you allow the energy to move through it, yes, it will heal. It has put a bone back in my foot.
Does anybody have any input on, so these timelines that have been blasting through? I noticed that my anxiety just completely goes through the roof and I'm practically crawling the walls. And it isn't until I actually see some space weather that I actually remember to, oh yeah, attribute it to that. Any tips or suggestions on how to better surf the waves, so to say, as the energies roll in?
We're all playing with it at the same time. When it happens, somebody asks and we figure it out.
Okay.
Right now, we got a tool that works. We can get some ease. We can help others get some ease right now. But when the next wave hits, it'll be a different energy. It'll be different everything. So can you preempt it? I'm sure you could put a golden bubble around you and not let it get to you. But I think I'd rather deal with the energy and let's ride this ride.
All right.
Because we're going to figure it out. I mean, I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like feeling like I felt for 3 days.
No.
And I'm going to ask questions about it. And most of the people on this call, we exchange ideas via the phone or text messages or Facebook or whatever to see if we can bring some ease to each other. And sometimes you just got to ask and let the fog come and kick your ass.
Hi, Donnie.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What's coming next? What's coming next? I don't have a clue. I just know it's coming. When is it going to get here? When it gets here. Can I pinpoint a day? No. I know it's over 7 days out. That's what I know. But in between now and the 7 days, there's going to be a build up to it. We're going to get the magnetics of it first.
And what do you think the outcome will be?
Whatever we project, that's going to be the outcome.
So everybody's going to get different outcomes?
The more we project a unified outcome that everything's going to be all right, there is going to be no violence, everything's going to work out just like it's supposed to work out, and we're going to have this transition smooth and easy. I'm not feeding any ounce of fear nowhere. None of it. I'm doing what I'm prepared for. I'm prepared for the worst because I know it ain't going to happen. Because I'm going to throw energy and I'm going to get like-minded and like-hearted people that play in their own field of energy, and we're going to project the same thing. And the more we project that, the stronger that energy field gets. And the more I speak that, and the more we throw more energy behind that, the stronger that energy field gets. The more numbers we get in that, the bigger the energy field gets.
Mm-hmm.
No fear.
Now, here's my thing. I can tell you what I see in this moment, but nothing is cast in stone. For in the next moment, it will change. We have new information. We have different perspectives looking at it. Everything is from the moment you're in. Sometimes they won't let you look in this moment. Sometimes they will. But everything really is about this moment and where you're keeping yourself in this moment. If you breathe life, if you think life and speak life like I do, then you are life. You are more life. And the more you do that, the more life you have. You, each one of you are the only ones that can heal you. First, you have to understand it's energy, and it's lack of movement of energy. So I'm going to see where's it hurting at, and what can I put in my body that will best assist that energy flow. I know that certain things that you put in your body, well, your body really can't deal with not what it is, but what's in it. To the point that I recognized that so many years ago, I started gardening in the desert. And it's been a nice learning curve. For the disease of the desert, and why it is a desert, is not the desert's disease. It is a human energetic disease that causes the desert. For me, it's easier to place orgonite around wherever they let me place orgonite around to help facilitate correcting that energy disease of the desert. Because the humans, they have been misdirected in their education, they have been indoctrinated, and the biggest thing they cannot seem to find is a direction of their own. They're looking for someone to tell them what to do and how to do it.
Or do it for them.
Yes, ma'am. One or the other. Me, I want you to have what I have. I want you to have the connection I have. And whatever I had to do it, well, there's shortcuts to get here. First, you have to accept that you can. First, you have to give yourself permission to receive it. Because the more of me that is out there like-hearted projecting this energy, the smoother the transition will be. Whatever it is. I know that I'm in a flow and nothing is permanent. Everything's always moving. The more I try to hold on to one thing, the more gifts I'm leaving behind. So I'm playing with it all and anything that comes forward. All I am here to do is guide you to have what I have. And I can give you the ways that I got there, but you have to find your way because my way may not work. You have to remember. It's literally not teaching you anything. It's allowing you to remember what you are.
Mm-hmm.
Once you feel this energy, you'll want to repeat it. So all you got to do is repeat where your mind was to yourself and be in that energy. And the greater you can do that, the easier the connection gets.
And the faster the connection gets, too. Also. Yes.
Just put this call in your mind, and your body will literally respond to the energy that you were in.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
breathe.
reminds me, I was over to a lady's place, and she tested the aura with L rods of a glass of water sitting on the table. And I asked her, I said, well, no, I said, do my blessings on the water. She said, I can't remember your whole blessing. Well, I said, just say, give it Don's blessing or something. So she said, I give this water Don's blessing. Then she tested it, and the aura was way out, long ways further. And all she had to do was just say to give my blessings. Yeah, that is interesting how we don't have to always do a specific thing. We can, yeah.
Simple, 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 simple. The simpler you keep words, the faster it works, the stronger it is. I have discovered the less descriptive words that I use, the faster it works and the better it works. Our language is a slave language. The words you use keep you where you are. And I'm going to tell you, like I told a buddy of mine, change your story, change your life. The words coming out of you are what you're attracting to you. Yeah. That is your vibrational anchor.
You change one thought, you change a lot of things.
Changing one thought is all of it. You have to figure out that no matter what you're thinking, where your monkey's at, breathe, come back to the moment, and it changes everything. And then changing that one thought, you change your entire paradigm.
Yes, we change our paradigm. So what do we want
right
to
now you're integrating. Now you're integrating a whole bunch of energies.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that when you're not recognizing you, you have to figure out what it is. And I didn't recognize me, and we started playing. And we figured something out because we had a way to formulate a question. What is it, and how can I get some ease? And then I said, I don't care what it is, just get me some ease. And then I got a fog. Sometimes it's me and Don are just sitting here playing. We don't know why we call each other. We just sit around and chat, and some wonderful things happen. Some wonderful things come out. And we're not doing anything but just seeing who can do exercise today.
Yeah. Well, any other thoughts we got here? We're just about the 2-hour mark, so we probably. Anybody got any questions that they would like answered or thoughts that they'd like to share?
I had something strange happen the other day, and I was wondering if I could get any insight on it. I was taking a nap, and I thought I woke up, and I could see like 4 men right over me, and I screamed and woke up my husband, and then I woke up for real. Does anybody get any insight on what that was about?
You brought a timeline.
Who that was?
You brought a timeline home.
Yep.
What does that mean?
That means another timeline that you're operating on came home. We operate in many different times. Yes, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, Paige is thinking something there. What was your thoughts there, Paige?
Just that more fragments came home, and that it was a beautiful, positive thing.
Yes.
You're more complete because of that. Or whole, I guess the word would be whole.
Yes.
And
doesn't make any difference where it happened or how it happened or why it happened. Nothing bad happened. You got home. You're safe. The rest of it don't matter. It's trauma. It'll keep you stuck.
Right.
Thank you.
You'll have more of that happening. We all will.
When I lay down to take a nap or something, it's like I'm already somewhere else talking to someone. What is that?
You are.
You are.
You are. Every time you lay down and take a nap, you leave this world. You're on another timeline. And when you wake up, you're in a brand new world. It's not the same world you were in when you went to sleep. It may look the same, but it's not the same because you're different.
I think that was like the 4 spiritual bodies, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies that were like gathering, and that was the only experience that they could come into to say, this is how you are. It was all your bodies. Does that make any sense?
Makes sense to me, June.
Okay.
Appreciate you sharing that. Yeah.
I just know it's going to get, for the lack of a better word, it's going to get fun and interesting. We just thought it's been fun and interesting to right now. Oh, well, it's going to get more so.
So I won't be bored anymore, huh?
If you're bored, it's your choice. It's your choice to be bored.
Yeah, well, I haven't. It's been exciting, that's for sure.
It's going to get more of it. Everything's changing by the nanosecond. Time is escalated. Our version of time is escalated. It's speeded up and slowed down all at the same time. You're popping in and out of different timelines and bringing timelines home so we can all make it through the bottleneck.
Yep.
That's what we're doing. We're in the midst of the transition. And the more we project a great outcome in the transition, the more that's going to happen. We don't feed any of the fear.
Well, you know, I haven't, for I guess the past month, I've kind of lost a lot of my fear. And I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling a lot of heart expansion. And I keep thinking, why am I feeling so good when I see all this stuff with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and wars and bombs going off? And I'm not even afraid. And I used to always be afraid all the time. So,
it doesn't matter. It's going to come to a seat.
I just don't care. Like, I don't know. I just feel really good. And I think I'm crazy. Why should I be feeling so good?
It's good. I'm crazy too.
Okay.
They all call me crazy. That's the greatest compliment I get all the time. You're crazy, man. Well, thank you.
Nuts, yeah. And I don't even tell me half the stuff, you know. But I'm excited about the future. I really am. I want to see. I want to be around to see, you know, all kinds of wonderful things. I just feel like it's right there.
It is. And,
you know what I mean?
Keep projecting it.
I am.
Keep projecting it.
I will. I don't know. I just can't feel bad. If I do, it's not for very long. And if it is I'm stuck in my head. I'm in the monkey mind. So that's what I know.
You're doing a good job. Yep.
So, I mean.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody's been helping me. I'm so grateful for Ken and Don and you, Bubba, and everybody else. I don't know. I just feel so good. And I wanted to share that. You know, I know there's a lot of negativity out there and fear, but I just lost all that fear. So that's huge for me.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. I got to go. I got a client that's going to call in about 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
It's a good time to call her off. So, blessings to all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you,
everyone.